мешочек положил?
Не, лишь на шляпу. Я chair. There's a chair. Over there. You need some?
No, thank you. Where would be a good list to sit?
Huh?
Where would be a good list to sit?
I
Sit
have it
anywhere?
right, maybe you want to stay in the front over there.
Thank you.
Can you please come a little bit closer? Thank you.
Krishna 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 Namaste Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jai Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Tarisata Shishimat. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT, Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri.
Namaste Narayana. Namaste Nishinha Parata Nishinha Nishinha Parata Nishinha Yato Yato Yamitata Nishinha Yato Yato Yamitata Nishinha Here Nishinha Vidaya Nishinha Here Nishinha Vidaya Nishinha Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapade Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapade Kavakara Kamala Vare Nakamakuta Shringam Talita Hiranya Kashipa Tanabringa Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Nishingadev Jaya Nishingadev Nishingadev Jaya Nishingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Gaurahari Nitai Sachinandana Gaurari Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Singade Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna, everyone. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. So now, what happens is we're going to talk about the Bhagavad Gita for till about 1:45, and then there'll be more kirtan. So you're welcome to stay. Did the devotees who went to the wrong place, did you make it? Are you here? Someone had got lost. They went to another key. Dariad. Okay, nobody. Okay, they haven't made it yet. Shashiri friend. Now we had some guests that got lost. Okay, so we'll sit here, and if you turn this way, I'll sit there and talk about it for a few minutes. Use this one. Tell Well, yeah, we have all these calendars. I know it's a bit late in the year. All the festivals are around, and you can just take it home, put it up in the kitchen.
Does anybody want Hare Krishna calendar to bring home? Present? Give it to yourself.
Okay. So now, everyone. So we're the Hare Krishna movement. Now, actually, you might not know this, but we're the first recorded civil disobedience movement on the planet. So there's a bit of information for you. Did anyone know that? Did anyone know that the Hare Krishna movement is the first recorded civil disobedience movement on the planet? Okay. So you all learned something today. And what happened actually was the governor of one area in West Bengal banned the chanting of Hare Krishna. He said no more. He smashed the mridangas. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu organized civil disobedience to go to the governor's house, and it ended very amicably. if I can't say that word. It ended very nicely anyway. The governor submitted, and there's a plaque in Navadvip, and it's signed by him, this governor, and he said the Sankirtan is to be going on forever. So he agreed to the Sankirtan. So basically, in the Hare Krishna movement, we chant Hare Krishna. We do it before we do something. We do it during doing it. This is usually chant Hare Krishna. And then after we do something, we chant Hare Krishna again. And so it's basically, you've all heard it. There's Hare, Krishna, and Rama. And Krishna, these are all names of God in Sanskrit. And Krishna means the all-attractive person. And Rama means the reservoir of all pleasure. And Hare is Krishna's consort. She's in charge. So when we ask her, when we appeal to her to engage us in Krishna's service, then we have a better chance of success. And what it basically means is, when we'll read something from Bhagavad Gita in a few minutes. But actually, we're all originally loving beings, and we're just full of love. We're actually in ecstatic love at all times. This is our original nature, but somehow that's covered now. And the process of chanting Hare Krishna revives this love that we have in our heart. And when we direct it towards God, when we direct it towards the Supreme Person, then everyone else is included. So when we repose our love in God, then we automatically love all other living entities. And it's a process. You can try it, and you can see for yourself how it works. It's very easy. You just chant. So we'll chant again some more. And loudly is good. You can chant loudly, and the more people chanting at the one time, the better. And then we'll talk from Bhagavad Gita. And if anyone has any questions so far, please keep them, and you can ask. And if we can answer, or some of the other devotees here may be able to answer questions. Okay. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. They're very nice singers. So this verse is from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Does everyone know what is the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
Okay, some don't. So I'll explain. So Bhagavad means, or Bhagavan, one who possesses all opulences in food. And Gita is a song. So basically, if you translate it, it means the song of God. And it was spoken 5,000 years ago by Lord Krishna on a battlefield for a major, actually it was a world war at the time. And so Arjuna is Krishna's friend. And he doesn't want to fight in this battle. It's actually between cousins. The battle is between cousins. One set of cousins, the Kurus, they've taken the kingdom unfairly, and the other set of cousins, it's their entitlement to the kingdom, and they don't mind. They're not overly fussed about having the kingdom, but they're the more righteous personalities, and Krishna wants them to rule. So basically, Arjuna, Krishna's friend, he's looking at the other side. He's looking at the army that he's facing to fight, and he doesn't want to fight because he has cousins and brothers and grandfather and teachers and everyone on the other side. So it's a very difficult thing, very difficult for him to have to kill these people. So Krishna starts to speak to him, and it's all in poetry, actually. There's over 700 verses, and the whole conversation is all in poetry form. So we take one verse, one of the first instructions that Krishna gave to Arjuna. Now, it doesn't mean that we're all supposed to be fighting. It's just we have to take that in the context of the time. So this verse is Dehinos minyata dehe komaram yovanam jira tata dehantara praktir viras tatra namuyate. So the translation: as the embodied soul continually passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Then we have purport or commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering, according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for the superior enjoyment of material existence. So in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the supersoul and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme soul being unchangeable. Okay, so we just take so this is the verse. We're understanding about reincarnation. So as the soul, so if we consider this, right, we can think back to some childhood memory that we all might have. The one I always think about is the first day going to school, right? With 4 years of age, whether I was 4, and my mother brings me into this classroom, and I don't want to be there. And she's gone away, and I'm trying to run out the door, and the teachers bring me back in to sit me down. So I can remember. I mean, if I think back, I can remember I was there in my short pants, and I remember the shoes, and that body. When I look down and think of that body in that situation, and we can all do it. We can all think back to some memory and just look down at the body, and now look at the body we have now. It's a completely different body. We would say it's the same body, but it's not. It's the same body. Even medical science is saying that at every moment all the cells in the body are changing, regenerating. So there's reincarnation right before our eyes, but we don't see it. So that's the one thing about Bhagavad Gita. It's explaining, like a lot of times we say we have a soul. You ever hear that? Oh, someone has a soul. But actually, the understanding from Bhagavad Gita is that we are the soul. We're spiritual beings, actually. And it's because of us being inside in this body that this body is alive and it moves. But the minute we leave it, which is called death, then the body is no longer animated. Right? It's just, you can set fire to it. That's what we usually do. Buried in the ground. So the soul, is the active living principle inside in the body. And the symptom of the soul is consciousness. Right? And we're conscious, isn't it? We're conscious of the pains and the pleasures of our own body. I'm not conscious of the pains and pleasures of anyone else's body. I can empathize with it, but I'm not conscious of it. I'm conscious of the pains in my own body and the pleasures in my own body. So that's an individual consciousness. So we're all individuals. And then Krishna says in the verse previously, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Sanskrit is na te vaham jatu na sham na tam na me janadipa na chaiva na bhavishana sarve vayam ata param. So one aspect of the soul, or one aspect of ourself, of us, the person, we're eternal. We've always existed, and we always will exist. The soul, there is neither birth nor death. The soul does not come into being, will not come into being, has not come into being. The soul is unborn and eternal, never dies. It's not slain when the body is slain. And that's our real identity, actually. So when we get into these bodies, and that's another story, when we get into the body, we have this original nature, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunaya Shravanade Sudha Chitta Karma Udaya, that pure love for Krishna, pure love for God, love for all other living entities is dormant in the heart. It's dormant in our hearts. But when we take these material forms, that's all covered. So now our eternality is covered, our consciousness, or our knowledge, our awareness, that's covered. And our natural condition of being blissful, actually the soul is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So Ananda means blissful, we're always blissful. That's our real identity. But when we get the bodies, we get all the problems. And we have to take birth. That's a bit of a problem. So heavy situation for us, we don't even remember it. Who remembers coming out of our mother's womb? Isn't it? No, I don't know anyone that remembers that. A very painful situation to go through, and it's completely blacked out, but it happened, isn't it? We all came out. We all came out. Then we have all these other problems as we go on. It's actually the Vedas categorize everything. It's amazing Vedic text. So there's 3 types of miseries, and we can consider this. There's Adhyatmika, Adhibautika, and Adhidaivika. So the Adhidaivikas are the miseries caused by the demigods, the higher living beings who control the universal affairs. They're in charge of the wind and the rain and the whole thing. So there's misery. We might get severe flooding. That's a misery. Don't know if you've ever had your house flooded. It's a kind of a silent thing. Kind of creeps up. One morning you come downstairs and the whole place is water everywhere. So it's quite a situation to be in. So then there's hurricanes and all this. So this is miseries that are caused by nature, basically, Mother Nature. And then there's miseries, Adhyatmika, miseries caused by our own mind and our own body. Isn't it? We have doubts about ourselves. Oh, I'm no good. Oh, I can't do this. Or life's, the mind is sometimes getting on our case, telling us all sorts of stupid things, and we're suffering under that control. And miseries from the body. Yeah, we've all had some experience of disease. So then there's those. Then we're going to face. I'm sorry, now this might be a bit depressing, but the solution is very nice. So then there's old age comes. Who wants old age? Who's going? I can't wait to get old. There's nobody, right? But this is the fact, right? It's happening. I mean, I can think back. It's like yesterday, I was 16. So yesterday, I feel it as well. Yesterday was gone. And we all have that. So we want our youth, isn't it? But our natural condition as souls is we're eternally youthful. That's actually where the soul is youthful. It's not. Soul doesn't grow old. So, and Krishna also, God is an eternal youth. There's other different religious traditions, and they have an idea that God is like an old man in the sky with a beard. He's kind of getting upset with us for everything we do. But the Vedas don't say that. Krishna, Nava Yovana, is an eternal, youthful being. He's very beautiful. So this nature we have, and now we have this one. Now we have these bodies. So what's Bhagavad Gita teaching us? Well, it's teaching us we're not the body. So when we get this knowledge, we can start to act on it. So it's a matter of reawakening the knowledge, and Krishna consciousness is a process to do that. So we act from the idea, okay, I'm a spirit soul. I'm not a 60-year-old Irish male. That would be one identity we may have. Thus we look in the mirror every morning and we think, this is me. But this isn't us. We're not women, we're not men, we're not old men, we're not young men, we're not what else are we not? We're not happy, we're not sad. Not all these things are actually spiritual beings. So And Prabhupada says, there's one purport he writes, he says, the illusion is that the living entity doesn't try to understand his spiritual identity. So we're happy, we're happy with our own identity somehow. We're holding on to it. We're thinking, yeah, we're going to get something. We're going to get some pleasure out of this. Because as spirit souls, we're pleasure seeking. We have to have pleasure. We want pleasure all the time. But when we look in matter, right now, it's like you take a light bulb, it shines white light, right? So that's our original nature. We have this. We're beautiful beings, always loving, eternal, full of knowledge. But now we're covered. It's a covering by matter. And matter is made up, there's different elements of matter, earth, solids, liquids. So you see that the bones in the body, they're like rocks, they're solid. Liquids, there's all sorts of liquids in the body. Air, we have 10 life airs, different types of airs circulating inside the body. Air, fire, our digestion is working on fire. Right? If you ever notice that digestion is low, take some ginger or something and keep the fire in the stomach going. That'll digest our food for us. Ether, isn't it? We can hear sound in our head. We block our ears. We can hear our voice vibrating inside. So there's space or ether inside in our bodies. And they're getting more and more subtle as the covering is getting more and more subtle. Then we have a mind. We all understand our minds. Our mind is a function. It thinks, it feels. All our emotions are in the mind, right? And it wills. So like we can think, okay, it's very hot today. I'd like some ice cream. So we feel, I'll get some ice cream. Then the intelligence kicks in and says, well, you get it in the shop. Let's go down to the shop. So we go down to the shop. So we're willing to get this ice cream. And this is constantly going on. This is our mind. It thinks something will give us pleasure or something will give us pain. So we avoid that. And our intelligence is always helping us how to negotiate these things. And then there's another subtle element called the hankara, which makes us think that we're bodies. It's a very subtle element. It's called a false ego or a false identity. So as a spirit soul, I'm a spiritual being, I'm eternal, but when I'm covered with this material covering, now my consciousness is going through it. It's like, so we have a white light and we paint it red, right? But the light is white, but the covering is red. So now the white light is now shining red everywhere. And this is like our situation. We're spiritual beings, but we're covered by matter. So the consciousness goes through matter and we're thinking. Because we're pleasure seeking, the mind is a reservoir of all ideas of what's going to bring us pleasure. Okay, I'll get my exams, I'll become a doctor, I'll feed the world, or whatever it is. We have all sorts of ideas about what will bring us pleasure. But in this material world, any pleasure we get, it's a temporary pleasure. It's like if there's a tree, an apple tree, say, and it starts raining and there's a pool of water in front of the apple tree. So when we look in that pool of water, we're going to see apples, right? They're reflected from the tree. But if I go to get an apple, there's no apple. It's not an apple and I'll never get it. And it's the same here. It's a heavy statement, right? But it's the fact. There is no pleasure here, nor will we ever get it. And okay, we can say, well, there is some pleasure. I have a nice family, I have a nice wife, I got my exams the other day. Yes, there are pleasures, but they're temporary. They have a beginning and they have an end. They won't satisfy us. Because why? Because we're eternal. We're from a different nature. The temporary world cannot satisfy us. It's like you get a fish. You take a fish out of the water. You can give him anything. You can give him 50 fish wives. He's out of the water, he's not going to be happy. You can give him a massage, you can take him to the movies, you can do it. That fish is not going to be happy until he goes back into the water. And it's the same for us. It's the same for us. And everything we look for, we're actually, that happiness that we're looking in our original relationship with Krishna. And that's it, basically. We're spiritual beings undergoing a material experience. We're not material beings trying to have some kind of spiritual experience. We're actually spiritual beings. And that's one of the oldest teachings on this planet, and it's in all religious traditions in some way or another. And spiritual life, then, when we understand that, okay, so there's I have a relationship with a personality, and that personality is he's the guy. Think about it. He's the person who floats planets in space just by his will. He's the person that puts. Now you get a seed of an apple tree, right? So inside that seed, there's a tree. And inside that tree, there's lots of apples. And inside all those apples, there's lots of seeds. And in each little seed, there's a tree. So that's a pretty impressive personality. And we have according to that person, is that we have an eternal relationship with him. We're tiny parts and parcels. We're actually the same in quality as God. But God, in quantity, we're not the same. It's like you take a drop of water from the ocean, and the drop is qualitatively the same as the ocean. But the drop is a little drop, and the ocean is huge. And our happiness is in our constitutional position is in giving pleasure to Krishna. So, and when we give him the pleasure, then we're included in that. It's like if you want all the leaves of the tree to be nourished and all the branches on the tree to be nourished, and then you go and you water the leaves and the branches, it's not going to work. You water the root of the tree, and then automatically the leaves and the branches are nourished. So we give our love, we give our everything to Krishna, we give it to God, right? And then everyone will be satisfied by our endeavor. Everyone will be happy. We will be happy, and everyone else will be happy also. And it's not like a sentimental process. You can take to the process because we have forgotten that relationship. Actually, it's like in amnesia. We've forgotten. We have a form. We have a cert. We have a name. We have an eternal relationship with a person. We've actually forgotten this. And according to the Bhagavad Gita and the other Vedic texts, we're wandering here for millions and millions of lifetimes. We've been in every species. We've been up in the heavens. We've been down in the hells. We've been in every species. There's 8,400,000 species of life. We've gone through them all. We've flown through the air as birds. We've swam in the ocean as aquatics. We've crawled on the floor as reptiles. We have no recollection of that right now in this body, but we've done it. We've been, according to Bhagavad Gita, we've been there. And there's a lot, actually. I don't know if you follow there's a professor, well, there was, he's late now, the Professor Jan Stevenson. Anyone heard of Jan Stevenson? Okay. He was a professor in Dallas University, one of the universities in Dallas, and he used to do research on children's past life memories up to the age of 4. If you ever watch a child up to the age of 4, they're talking about things, and the parents are thinking, oh, he's going on about his imaginary friend, and isn't that? Actually, children, they remember previous life. If you listen carefully to what they're talking about, up to the age of 4 or 5. Jan Steven, before he left, he had 2,000 documented cases of this. Actually, he was really thorough in his research, and there was a few amazing cases. There was one case in America, and the mother. There was a Christian family, and they had this small boy, James was his name. So anyway, James, when he was 3, I don't know if anyone has sons, they love these tractors, these plastic tractors. They love to drive these things around, right? My son had a plastic tractor. But anyway, James was into airplanes. He just had to have, it was an airplane, so he had a little plastic airplane. And at the back of the airplane was this little kind of thing. and he was hooked up to the back of the airplane. And the mother says, "Oh, James, you have a bomb there. Is it on the back of your airplane?" And he says, "That's not a bomb." Now, bear in mind, this guy's 3 or 4, right? He says, "That's not a bomb. That's a drop tank, Mama." And so she's thinking, and this is back in the 60s, so there was no internet in those days. But the mother's thinking, "That's odd, a drop. What the hell? Where did he get that from?" So anyway, sure enough, the father was thinking, yeah. So he looked up some encyclopedia and he found out, sure enough, in the back of fighter planes or something, they have this little thing hanging there, and it's called a drop tank. So anyway, this was going on, and he would go in, his father would buy him these model airplanes in the shop. So he'd have it there, he'd put it up, and he'd inspect it, he'd walk around it, and he'd have a good look at it. And the father said to him one day, he says, "Why don't you get one of those other ones over there?" And he says, "Don't be stupid, Daddy. Those things, they always get flats. They're always getting flats." So whatever the name of that plane was, I don't know. But the kid is telling him, "You're always getting flats." So anyway, the father researched again, and sure enough, in World War II, there was this particular type of fighter plane, and the wheels were always flattened. It was landing on the aircraft carriers. And so they were thinking about this. And there was another thing then, that the kid was having trauma. He was completely traumatized. So sometimes in the evening, the mother would be trying to put him to sleep, and he was screaming. He'd start screaming. And it was very difficult for the parents because they didn't know what was wrong with him. So anyway, some of their friends, they were Christian people, and so they didn't really accept certain ideas. But one friend told him, "You should get him regressed." If there's hypnotherapy. So there's people trained in regression therapy where they put someone into a kind of a light hypnotic state, and then they take them into previous experiences in lives. So they weren't sure about doing this, but they were the parents were thinking, there's not much more we can do. So we'll give it a try. So they phoned up this hypnotherapy lady, and she said, "You don't have to regress the child at all. Just talk to him. Just talk him through. Ask him when he starts going into his trauma. Just talk to him and find out what's the problem." So the mother was doing this, and in the evenings the son would start crying, and she talked to him, and he started to explain. He's explaining, "I can't, Mama, fire, I can't get out. So he over time, over this talking and everything, decided that, okay, he got through the trauma. They actually nullified this trauma that he was with. And then the father decided, okay, there's something more to this, because the boy, his name was James, and every time he'd write his name, he would write James 3 for no reason. A 4-year-old kid was always writing James. He's writing James 3. So they did some research, and they found out that in 1945 there was an American fighter pilot. He was Captain James something, and he flew off with a friend of his off this aircraft carrier they were in the war with Japan, and they went to some island. And when they were flying, that plane, James's plane, got shot from a Japanese ship, and it went up through the cockpit, and James tried to get out, this Captain James, and he parachuted, but he died. Actually, he left his body there. So there was lots more evidence came in. Jan Stevenson started to investigate the case, and there was lots of similarities in the whole thing. And then they took, actually, the parents of the kid, they took him out into the ocean, and just to heal him out to this place where it happened. So that lady is convinced of, now, this was this boy, and this was the life he had in the previous body. So, you can go and get regressed if you're curious, but there's no need. You can just accept it. We're in a body right now. We have this, and it's due to whatever previous activities we're doing. And if we don't, and that's the meaning of our life, and the purpose of our life, according to Bhagavad Gita, is to actually get out of this cycle of coming back and taking birth, and going through the whole thing, and then dying again, and coming back, going through another lifetime. And that's why, isn't it, like, we meet people, isn't it, all the time, and we just immediately get on with them. Wow, yeah, And it's simple. It could have been our mother in our last life or our brother. And we separate and maybe we come back together again. But our relationships, they're a temporary thing and they won't satisfy fully. So if we want to get really satisfied, then we add Krishna into life, and yeah, that's who we actually have that's who the real relationship is with. So, okay, if anyone has any comments or challenges or questions, we have a few minutes.
Sorry, you were saying something about reincarnation.
Yes.
So how many times you know yourself to coming back to to this world again?
Until we get out.
So you come back about maybe 7, 10, 20 times?
Millions.
Millions.
Millions and millions and millions and millions of lifetimes. But in the view of eternity, it's like that. It's like a blink of the eye for Mahavishnu. It's like nothing. In eternal time, it's nothing. But down here now, you see, down here we're in that time realm, right? Everything has a beginning, everything has an end. And yeah, we can go millions more until we say, okay, one qualification to get out is actually we need to be exhausted. We need to be, okay, what is here? What is here for me? How much more suffering can I endure? How much more suffering can I witness until I just decide, okay, there's got to be something else. There has to be. And the minute you ask, well, what is there? What is there beyond this realm? Then Jesus says this, isn't it, in the Bible? He says, knock and the door is opened. So when we inquire like that, because Krishna is in our heart, actually he comes with us in our in our sojourn in this world. He's present in the heart of all living entities. He comes with us. He's right there. He's there all the time, waiting until we turn and say, okay, I've done this now.
So that was all the time about your sin you made it, and we come back again, or come back with a different body of the animal, it could be anything, any mice, anything it can be.
Everything. There's 8,400,000 species. 400,000 of them are human, and the rest are lower species. And that's the danger, actually, that because if you go human being, you see an animal, he won't ask, why am I suffering? He won't come here. He's not going to come into the temple, and he's not going to go to the church. He's not going to go to the mosque. He's not going to go to the synagogue. He's not going to go. He doesn't have that ability. He doesn't have that intelligence to ask those questions. But humans, we can ask. We can say, why am I suffering? What's going on here? Why is this happening in Gaza? Why is this going on? Why is all these things? We can ask those questions. So human life is very important. And we should utilize human form of life. It's a very special gift, actually.
Because of our sin, that's why I came back to different species.
Yeah, the Sanskrit word for sin is sundar. Sundar means that what separates myself from myself. It's a very interesting thing, to separate oneself from oneself. So there are activities that cover us more. They activities that cover our identity more, and so it's not favorable for spiritual life. But in this age, it's a very difficult age, so that we've been given a very powerful process. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. The name of God is sacred, a sacred thing, special. In the material world, we deal with relatives, and in the spiritual world, we deal with absolute. So if I'm thirsty and I say water, the substance water and the word water are two separate things. The word water is not going to quench my thirst. But in the spiritual realm, there's an absolute. So Krishna is non-different from his name. So whatever name, it doesn't matter, Allah, Buddha, it doesn't matter. The name is sacred. The name is not from this realm. It's not from the realm of matter. It's from the realm of spiritual. Right? So when we associate with that, it's a sound vibration from that realm. So it goes in our ear, and as we associate with that, we start to wake up. We start to reawaken our own identity, who we are. You see, God consciousness and Krishna consciousness, it's not an artificial imposition on the mind. It's not something that we're going to stick on ourselves, right? It's our natural condition, right? And by associating then with transcendental sound vibration, i.e., texts from sacred texts, that's a sound or sound vibrations, because they're not from this world. So when we associate with that, that's the process actually, to hear. Right? So when we chant Hare Krishna, we try to hear the vibration. We vibrate the sound, and then we try to hear. And then you'll see what the objections the mind has, and the intelligence and the subtle, the material covering starts to obstruct, basically. You try it, try and chant Hare Krishna for 10 seconds.
Sometimes if you do a bit of meditation, as example, it is very hard to put your mind in stable, because if you're doing it, you focus a little bit and your mind switch up something else, automatically switch it like that. You come back again. It's very hard. How people to bring your mind for stable.
Yeah, then we realize something, right? Because what we're doing is we're trying to reestablish our relationship with a person, and the mind is going here, there, and everywhere. So we see how difficult this is. So now we need help. So now we get the right mood. Now, my dear Lord, I can't do this. So please, you help. And as we try, He's always helping us. Always. We take one step, He's taking hundreds towards us. And that's why people who are on a spiritual path, they know. No, we have experience. You have an experience with another person always in our life. We don't physically see, but we don't physically see the wind, but we know the wind is there. Okay, so it's not always what we perceive with these senses. There's a whole other world outside beyond our mind and senses. So when we take to that process, then we have experience. If we genuinely take to it, then we get experience of our friend, basically. Is that okay?
You mentioned there about the child, about being aware, the children are aware, different realms, and seeing them talking about seeing things and whatever, because they're in a different consciousness. At times, what's it called again? That vibration of theta. Children vibrate on until that age. It's theta or something. They vibrate that, and people try to talk about the fact that you just get older and you go out of that state. It's just an age thing, which there's more arguments that it's not, because it's the same dream like state that you get into just before you fall asleep. Just that moment before you fall asleep, you get that dreaming. That's the same vibration that the child vibrates in. So when people try to say, it's just an age, or you grow out of that, the fact that it's still there at that time, throughout your whole life, that you're still vibrate, and that consciousness the child has shows really that we're, that consciousness, that vibration is always there. But surely that material existence takes that away from you. As you get older, you don't change, the environment changes, you get more materialistic. So you lose that awareness the child has, but it's still there as you go to sleep. So surely it's the environment around you, the material existence that takes that away. But the child as well are innately happy, because they haven't been conditioned. it's your existence to be unhappy, so they're just innately happy. And
Yeah, there's a truth there. Definitely, children are in a special, different thing, but we also have to remember that. Yeah, well, our modern society, what in the last 200-300 years, definitely is designed to. It's not really in our favor. It's not designed in our favor. It's not designed in spiritual favor.
yeah,
But yeah, but Stevenson is particularly dealing with these memories that they had. I remember my son; he was always talking about his wife, Radomia. You might be sitting down and saying, "I have a wife." Really, I'm saying, "Oh yeah, what's her name?" Radomia. He's talking away about her, no problem. And if you kind of go, you call her an imaginary friend, and you kind of get rid of it. But if you dig into it, it turned out, yeah, that he did. And it was Vishnu Priya. So it's because you can, if you can research it by astrology and things. But yeah, it's good to listen to kids. Listen to the children. See what they're talking about.
yeah, because
But we're very busy nowadays. No time. Oh, no time. Okay. So now there's kirtan. Okay. So we have some more kirtan. This is Leelavati Gopi. Actually, our friend, she loves to sing kirtan. So we'll have some more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.